based on Reliant DL380 servers. So these are rack-optimized servers. They're 2U in size, and each can host in the neighborhood of about 100 virtual machines on it. So when you max out the VS1 product, you're getting about 750 virtual machines in there. The VS2 will go up to about 2,500 virtual machines. That's when we start to roll into our blade chassis for the servers. And we're getting a much higher count there, so you get a higher density of what you can put into a single rack. And then with the VS3, we're actually installing two blade chassis into the rack and allowing you to get even more servers in there. Again, you get your choice of the virtualization partner that you work with, either VMware, Microsoft, or Citrix. And then we have a whole slew of HP services to help you choose which virtualization method is best for you and help you deploy that in your environment and also help you decide where you want to go in the future with this. We even do have an upgrade path from the virtual system to the cloud system. In the case of the VS3 model, it's just loading additional software onto the existing hardware. We're working on an upgrade path for VS2. In the case of VS1, where it's more of an entry-level virtualization system, we're actually working on ways that you just plug that in under an existing cloud solution. So from a storage standpoint with each of these, I spoke a little bit about the servers. On the VS1, as I mentioned, we have DL380 Reliant servers for the customers that aren't quite ready to go into a bladed environment. From a storage standpoint, we're using P4500 SAN appliances. And this is an iSCSI solution where we have physical RAID across the disk drives within each of these appliances, but also network RAID across each of the nodes in the appliance. So you would start with 2 nodes and scale up to 8 nodes within the rack. Just like with the servers, you would start with two servers, and you could scale up to 8 physical servers within that VS1 solution. It's all about what we fit into a single rack. It has all of the servers, the storage, the networking plumbing to tie it all together. So then you just have to uplink it into your company network, and you're up and running very quickly. In the case of the VS2, that's when we move into a blade system for the servers, and also a bladed iSCSI solution for the storage. The P4800 is, again, it's based on the C7000 blade enclosure from HP, and it's using MDS 600 high-density storage shells for the disk storage in that solution. So what we've done in both stages is we've tried to match the amount of storage to the amount of virtual machines that you can deploy so that you're not going to oversubscribe your storage, even as you maximize the number of virtual machines on the hardware. Moving up to the VS3, this is where you get outside of a single rack solution, because we're deploying our 3-par arrays as part of the storage solution for that. In this case, we're going, rather than an iSCSI solution, we're using a 3-par array. Even though it's capable of iSCSI, we're using it as a fiber channel target to pull the storage in for the solution. So we've got up to two C7000 chassis just for servers inside the rack. And then we've got the 3-par array in a separate rack, or 2 racks, depending on the capacity you scale to, supplying the storage for that. And that'll get you up to 6,000 virtual machines on that server workload that you have there. So again, we start with the systems, whether we're talking about the Reliant servers or the blade system. We're seeing about a 20-to-1 ratio in consolidation rate with customers, but as I mentioned before, these servers are capable of hosting even 100 virtual machines with the resources that are deployed as part of the virtual system. So there's room to grow there. On the storage side, whether we're talking about the P4500 SAN appliance, the P4800 bladed iSCSI SAN solution, or the 3-par array, you have, again, the ability to scale the storage to match what you have in the servers. You have multi-tenancy aspects where you can have separate virtual domains on the storage to where the virtual machines are not able to access a different customer or a different department storage. You have very easy autonomic management characteristics where you can deploy runs to new virtual machines very quickly, very easily without a high management footprint. And it's easy to scale this storage non-disruptively as your server needs grow. The networking, so we take our HP networking capabilities with both the switches that are built into the solution, our FlexNet capabilities where you cable everything once, and then you can repurpose those ports as your needs change, whether you're talking about Ethernet requirements or iSCSI or even fiber channel over Ethernet requirements for those ports. There's no need to go through and recable everything. You just repurpose through a software management capability the way those ports are being used on both the blade side and on the storage side. With our tipping point software, we can add security into the networking within this rack. So it's a very highly recommended option on the virtual system to take advantage of the capabilities of the tipping point software. And that's part of our HP networking product line. Insight control is how we actually can manage all of this very easily with a very low management footprint. Okay, we plug in to the hypervisors like vSphere 5.0. We have our HP Insight plugins that plug right in there. You don't have to learn different management interfaces. If you're familiar with vSphere, if you're familiar with Microsoft Hyper-V, you can manage the virtual system without having to learn new technologies. And this allows you to very tightly couple the hypervisor's capabilities with the hardware that's underneath it. So our ProLiant servers plug right in through our Insight Control software, say into vSphere. So you can very quickly see whether resources are being overtaxed or underutilized and readjust them accordingly. And again, you have your choice on the hypervisor side, whether you go with VMware, Microsoft, or Citrix. Okay. And then it's all wrapped together with HP services. So from the beginning, we'll help you decide which virtual system is right for you, if indeed one is. We'll help you deploy it, first with our factory express capabilities. So once you place the order, we build it all in the HP factory. We go through, we run all the cabling inside the rack. Where possible, we'll do software installs and configuration, license installation. We can set IP addresses and other settings that are unique to your environment based on information we've gathered at the time of sale. Then we roll it out onto your floor, do any finishing touches as part of the installation service. Maybe you have a site license or a corporate license with Microsoft and you want to use your own licenses for the guest OSs or whatever. We can do that on your site as a continuation of our Factory Express service. We just deploy the people there to do all that installation and configuration at your site. Again, we're taking care of all those details so that you hit the ground running, either in deploying this in your environment or adding value for your customers on top of the basic virtualization as part of the virtual system. Okay. And then a single source for accountability. In the unlikely event of something going wrong in the virtual system, we won't have floor lighting illuminate, but we will be able to very quickly, with a single call, be able to gather the information, and we'll be handling this from an HP perspective and not pointing fingers at other vendors because it's a total HP solution. Where it's not an HP component, it's an HP partner component. And we have support agreements with our partners such that we can do either a single call solution or we can do a warm handoff to them to get the solution to your problem very quickly and very effectively without having to do a lot of shuffling around between multiple vendors. And the whole idea is to deliver it as a single product rather than having to put it all together. Now, we recognize there are a lot of customers, there are a lot of integrators that still want to build it themselves. So if the virtual system isn't the correct thing, we also offer the blade system as a starting point to build on top of that. Once you've gotten to the virtual system, you can migrate from there up to the cloud system very easily. But if that's still not granular enough, we do offer additional resources like our reference architectures. These are the recipes that we've used for several years now for customers that are moving into virtualization or into environments where they're trying to consolidate their application servers. We've published these reference architectures that tell you how to build this yourself. And that's where you get to pick and choose additional details about the configuration that might not fit into the standard virtual system product line. So we'll work with you on the solution side of it in choosing the right virtual system and choosing the right hypervisor for your environment. And again, we give you the choice of all three. We'll work with you on the resources to build it or to deploy it at your site. And we'll work with you after the fact to support it as well once you have deployed it. So that if a problem does occur, we can fix that problem for you. So this is what we see as the beauty of the virtual system is it's a single product you can order. It takes away a lot of the confusion in the configuration process. It's also a single vendor for the support of that product. I've talked to a few customers about virtual system in our booth over the last 2 days. And one of the questions they're always asking is, I think I need to get into virtualization, but I'm not sure who can I talk to about that. We have an app for that. We have a service for that, I should say. I know I want to go into virtualization. I've got some VMware in my environment. Which model is right for me? We can help you size the correct solution as part of our services. We can share with you the direction we're going in the future with virtualization. We can help you make a business case for it if you need to sell it within your organization. We have definitely the ability to deploy services that help you set this up in your environment, get it up and running, to scale it up as your needs grow, and to choose how to move forward from that point forward, whether it's into the cloud or whether you need to scale out into more virtual systems. So looking back, if you look at the capabilities of the ProLiant server, we feel the virtual machine performance is at a maximum. So we looked at one competitor, and we're about 3 times the speed, just due to the ability to have twice the RAM in the system, to have better I/O performance on the backplane, the server and the blade system, to have more cores in our processor. Okay. Best of breed virtualization, whether you're going with Microsoft or VMware or Citrix. We work with all of those hypervisor providers to provide a solution for you. And it's built on open standards, in that we're using industry standard servers, whether it's ProLiants or Blades. We're using industry standard virtualization techniques. Our storage is all built on open standards.